Alright, I thought this could be an interesting video. So I kind of touched on when I made my whole, extended video about the Detroit Lions and, will they be able to attack the San Francisco 49ers defense and how they might do it. Kind of touched on, their ability to win on the outside. But I figured that kind of deserves its own video because there's a lot of details you can get into this of, San Francisco, they like to play a lot of zone coverage on first and second down on, third down, they might shift to a lot more man. So there could be opportunities with single safety deep to try and win on the outside. An opportunity like the one you see on your screen, perhaps. This is against Dallas. They are going to do a cover 3 zone. So, okay, what is Detroit going to do to try and attack this? And here's the weird thing. I do think there is potential vulnerabilities on the outside for San Francisco. The exception, though, is Detroit doesn't often attack these in the ways you might expect. Like, watch what they're going to do on this one. Watch as they're going to have Jared Goff instead flip the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs, which this one ends up being dropped, so it didn't work out. But even so, that play wasn't going to work out anyway, I don't think, unless Gibbs broke a tackle, which he could have. He's really good at that. But, just saying in general, that's just kind of what a lot of times Detroit tries to do, is you maybe try to win these plays in other ways. And I'm not showing this play to say that they're bad at doing that, because of course they're not. Like this one is another example where this time it's going to be man coverage. So, okay, again, this might be something you see a lot of on a third down and 10 against San Francisco, is you might see a lot of these cover 1 man blitzes. Well, all right, do you want to have Jameson Williams go down the field and try to win that way? Well, again, no, they're going to flip it to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he picks up a first down that way, which, hey, if you're, Detroit, what do you care? You're picking up the first down, which is absolutely true. But it's just worth noting when we talk about can the Lions win on the outside, a lot of times when they win outside the numbers, it's not in a typical sense. It's not in the traditional going down the field, go route type stuff. Now, can they still hit on those plays is still a question, though. Well, let's look at this chart, which I think is very fascinating when talking about if they can win on the outside, right? Because they've been killers against zone all year. But as I brought up in that other video, which good video, you should watch it. But the only player who has a higher yards per route ran is Josh Reynolds that's on this list. Everyone else is better in zone when it comes to yards per route ran, and also only one player has a better PFF grade when they're in man. That's Jameson Williams, and it's only by, it's not even 2 points better in that scenario. So definitely this is a zone coverage team that thrives against zone coverage. Now, again, like Amon-Ra St. Brown still has over 2 yards per route ran against man. That's really good, right? Sam Laporta's numbers are still really good against man, but they're just, it is a drop. No denying it. And while it's not like you always have a one-on-one matchup on the outside in man, and it's not like you never have a one-on-one matchup when you're in zone, it is potentially just, an interesting factor here, I think. Also, if you look at the Pro Football Focus grades for the San Francisco 49ers corners here, you see that, really, I think the key guy to pay attention to is Ambry Thomas on this one, as, currently 62nd graded out of 129 eligible players. So not terrible by any means, but we definitely have seen him have his bad moments. Like this play, for example, where what's going to happen is this is it's actually quarters coverage on third down and 15. This was in a big spot here in the Green Bay San Francisco game. They got the third and 15. They're up a point here in the third quarter. Jordan Love is going to take the snap on this play. He eventually looks down the field and fires down the field. And this is just a YOLO ball, right? This is just a hoping for something to go well. It's third and 15. If it's intercepted, then it's intercepted. No big deal. It's again, Bo Melton here, not exactly a superstar, although has done some nice things for Green Bay. But still, it's just, hey, it's third and 15. An interception is basically a punt anyway. But this is that guy I was talking about, Ambry Thomas. And you do wonder if this is Amon-Ra St. Brown down the field, or, even like a, Josh Reynolds down the field, or a Jameson Williams down the field. What could happen? As you see on this one, Ambry Thomas ends up just interfering with Melton. They get the flag there, and that's just something you can't do. But it does make me wonder if, again, for San Francisco, this is usually the way you've been able to beat them. This has kind of been their one weakness defensively, is they have had at times sus moments by their corners. And while for Detroit, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to try and, have them come in and make tackles and things like that. I understand why they might want to do that. For me personally, and again, I'm not trying to say like Thomas is a scrub or like, like they can't cover down the field or anything like that. But I'm just saying that is a way where you can get maybe some explosive plays. And to beat San Francisco, I don't think it's going to be enough to just, have decent drives. You need to be able to get the ball down the field. You need to be able to get the ball into the end zone. Easiest way to get the ball into the end zone is by hitting on a big play or two. But let's go over here, because, okay, I've talked a lot here, but I haven't actually shown an example of Detroit going one-on-one down the field. Like, I haven't shown that yet, so let's finally show that. This is Jameson Williams against Carlton Davis. And, Carlton Davis, very good corner. There's no denying that. But Jameson Williams is a guy who I think they went out and drafted for this exact purpose. They wanted to have a guy who could win one-on-one on the outside, which is, that's kind of the one piece of their offense that has only been good this season instead of, like, elite, right? Well, on this play, you see Jameson Williams, he goes down the field. You see him, at this point, it's not really open. And I do think that it almost reminds me a little bit of, DJ Chark last season for the Lions actually ended up playing a pretty key role in this unit. And here, I do wonder if Detroit maybe could, I don't know, they could use a guy stepping up. And Jameson Williams could be that guy. Because, again, Carlton Davis is a good corner. Like on this one, they're not able to hit it, but I do feel like, I'm kind of showing this play because I think Goff will take a chance here. I do think Goff will, at times, if he has a one-on-one matchup, fire it down the field. And I think we're all kind of just assuming, well, okay, yeah, but that's not really where they thrive. Maybe they'll hit on one, sure, but it's not something we're expecting. I think San Francisco will open themselves up to get beat there. I do. Again, I think the easiest way is to throw these wide receiver screens. Those will work. But my point in making this video is this is how I can see an upset happening. Because again, 7-point underdogs, right? I mean, that's pretty big underdogs. In fact, I think it's a bit disrespectful to Detroit. So if you go in with that mindset of, okay, we might have to make a play or two more than we usually have to make in a given game, which I think you do. I think in a conference championship, you usually can't go in and just play as well as you always do. You might have to make an extra play or two. So if you know that they're going to kind of let you be in that situation, well, why not throw one down the field? And again, Amon-Ra St. Brown, known for being a slot guy, but he had a big outside catch against Tampa Bay last week on a 3rd and 15. To be honest, Sam Laporta is a guy I would not think would be a terrible idea to throw him outside and see if he can win in these one-on-one matchups. I actually think that might make sense. Either way, I do think the Lions are going to be able to score in this one. That's not what the question is. But on a 3rd down and 11, can they be able to win and get a 15-yard conversion and keep this, game alive that way, keep the drive alive, that way? That's where I find to be fascinating about this. So that's just something to watch. Like, I do think there's going to be, I think Thomas is going to have to make plays, right? Like, make Thomas work. You know what? If you're Detroit and, Ambry Thomas gets an interception, all right, whatever. It is what it is. If he shuts down Jameson Williams, all right. Well, you did what you could. It didn't work out. No worries. Hey, you took your shots. But if you don't at least make Thomas work, I think you're making a mistake. And again, it's not to say Thomas is a bad player, just that he's probably the weak spot in a good secondary. That's just how I view it. But yeah, those are all my thoughts on if the Lions can win on the outside. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.